good for you. We're going to talk to you about the Santa Rosa Speak Out program. And let me tell you, we're pretty excited about this. Rich Aloy actually came up with part of this. He found it somewhere else and brought it here and tweaked it, and it's turning out to be a great program. And also we have with us Jason Weeks from the Santa Rosa School Board. And also we have Miss Green, who is big in Crime Stoppers. And I'll tell you right now, Crime Stoppers is a great program, but this is something that is similar, but for kids in the school system. So we're really excited about it. We're instituted it already, and it's already paying benefits. So we're really excited about the program. And right now, Rich Aloy, the PIO, is going to come up and talk to you a little bit exactly about what it's about. So it's all yours.
Appreciate it. So welcome. This is a really exciting program that we have here in Santa Rosa County. Obviously, because of the Parkland shooting that occurred back on February 14th, you know, this was a national incident that occurred, and obviously anytime there's a school shooting, it draws a lot of these feelings. We all have kids, you know, or somebody in the school system, and it's a very serious incident. So we recognize that we had a need here in Santa Rosa County, and you know, obviously the governor, after the fact, you know, implemented a lot of new policies, procedures, and school resource officers into the schools. And you know, Sheriff Johnson, as he was saying, he's big into the school resource program, so it's near and dear to all of our hearts here in Santa Rosa County. So we recognized that we had a need here for something that would give children a voice, something that would be able to help the kids in our school system communicate, because as we know, this information from the Parkland shooting was out there. So Santa Rosa Crime Stoppers stepped up to the plate, and Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers is a very important program for us. It's been around for an extremely long time, and we kind of looked at a new program. We're looking for something to do. You know, we all felt, I hate to use the word desperate, but that's what it was. You know, we saw what occurred, we needed to do something. So our program coordinator, Deb Roche, myself, along with the board of the Crime Stoppers Division, we borrowed an idea from another organization in Orange County, and it's called the Speak Out program. So we brought it here to Santa Rosa County, and it has really come leaps and bounds within just a 2-week period. So I want to introduce the Speak Out program. This is it right here. These are just some of the graphics that we have that we've distributed to all the schools, and we rolled it out just over 2 weeks ago. And this is the first in the state that has been implemented from an anonymous program since the Parkland shooting. And the really interesting thing about this program is it is tied into the Crime Stoppers organization. And it's a trusted program. We've arrested thousands of criminals throughout the state of Florida using the Crime Stoppers program. And it's trusted. It's 40 years in its inception, and it's just an awesome program. So just to kind of give you an overview real quick about the program is Crime Stoppers in the school system. So we just gave it a different name. You know, from a kid's standpoint, we wanted something that would make them feel good about it. Speak out. You know, you have a voice, you have a concern, you can speak out about it. And one of the greatest things about the program, it is 100% free to our taxpayers. So there's no cost at all. It is a free program. Crime Stoppers is already in place. Same infrastructure, same phone number, same app, everything's the same, except it's under a different name. The only difference between Crime Stoppers and Speak Out is the rewards. There's no reward system. We feel as though students want to do the civic thing. They want to give, you know, do the right thing in their schools. So we partnered with the school board, Mr. Rosdick, and we were able to problem solve this through the task force that was created earlier. I think it was about 2 months ago, Sheriff. Mm-hmm. And this was something that came out of that task force meeting. So we rolled this out just over 2 weeks ago, and I want to show you just a quick video that we created that we did send out to all the schools. And I'm going to show you here in just a second, and then when we're done with the video, I'm going to show you some statistics and talk a little bit about what we've seen within a 2-week period. Hopefully your mic won't get in the way.
Superintendent with the Santa Rosa County School System.
And I'm Deborah Roach, Program Director for Santa Rosa County Crime Stoppers.
We're excited to introduce a new school program available immediately called Santa Rosa Speak Out.
This is a program which gives the students a voice, and your voice is powerful.
It's an anonymous program which you can speak out about anything that's on your mind that might cause trouble to you or your school. Things such as
weapons at school or drugs,
gang activity or bomb threats,
graffiti or fights,
bullying or damage to school property,
thefts, or statements that might make you believe someone would hurt themselves or others.
To contact Speak Out,
just download the app. It's called P3 Tips. That's P3TIPS. Or call 437-STOP. Or go online at srccs.com under the school section.
And this is what Speak Out needs to know. Who's involved in the incident? What's their age, their grade, and what school?
What are you reporting? What type of incident? Is it a crime or activity?
When did this occur? Is it ongoing or is it in the planning stages?
Where did this happen? On school property, at home, or online?
And you can even upload pictures and videos if you use the app. Why would you want to do it? Because it's the right thing to do. It's all of our responsibilities to do the right thing, and it's our community and it's our schools.
Your information can stop bad things from happening, so use your voice.
And this is an anonymous program. That means that no one knows who you are. No one asks for your name, and there's no need to provide it unless you want to provide it.
So who gets that information? Depending on what the information is, the school resource officer, school administrators, law enforcement, or the FBI, whoever needs the information to resolve the issue you're reporting.
This program is important to everyone, from the school administration, Crime Stoppers, law enforcement, parents, and the entire community.
So please, if you have information, we ask you to do the right thing.
Your voice is powerful. Speak out.
Okay, so that is the video that we rolled out to all the schools on the ITV system, and it's already out there. It's been in place for just over 2 weeks, and I think the video speaks volumes as to how the program really works. And I'd rather play that than tell you all about it. So it's a great program. Obviously, there's things that we can share, such as weapons in schools, drugs, gang activity, bomb threats, graffiti, and it's not just law enforcement issues. We also put this in place and implemented it for school administrative issues. So if there's things that occur in the schools and it's something that is geared towards admin, of course, we'll pass that along. And like I said, it is 100% anonymous and it gives the kids a voice. So I want to talk a little bit about the statistics that we've received. And just within a short period, we've received 25 tips throughout all the schools in Santa Rosa County. And these are both administrative tips as well as law enforcement tips. And these tips, I'm just going to give you some highlights on some of them. One of them was actually a threat to a school for a school shooting. We had 3 tips involving potential suicide, hurting themselves or others. And we've had civil citations that were issued for tobacco possession. We've had a couple on sexual harassment cases. One that was pretty big on a fight that was about to take place and did not because of the school's interaction, and the administration stepped in and stopped it. And most importantly was bullying. We are getting a lot of tips in reference to bullying throughout the schools. And that's big for us. It gives them a voice and ability to speak up. Because nowadays kids are being bullied 24 hours a day. When I went to school, it was, you're in school and that's where it ended when you were done. But now, with social media, cell phones, and everything else, it's a 24-hour-a-day situation. So that's just some of the statistics that we've seen. And the schools throughout Santa Rosa County, so we're really happy. Just within a 2-week period, we've seen that kind of response from it. If I could ask my partners to come back up. The important thing, remember, is that it is completely anonymous. And for the younger children, anonymity is something that parents could help us out in explaining to the kids. So as you saw in the video, it's geared towards the younger crowds, and we believe the seniors and high school children understand it. Like I said earlier, the only difference between Crime Stoppers and Speak Out is that there's no rewards. It is all based upon doing the right thing. And specifically, I want to thank Sheriff Johnson for the ability to put this into our schools. I want to thank the school board for partnering with us, and most importantly, Crime Stoppers, because without them, we couldn't have put any of this in place. And I'll let my partners speak if they have something that they want to mention.
I think you said it.
Mr. Weeks and I were talking just before, and we were talking about the importance of the connection between law enforcement, administration, and parents. Did you want to kind of mention that a little bit?
I just think that's the compelling part of this system, is that it does offer an opportunity to build that trust that we need so desperately with our parents. It connects the school, law enforcement, the community, and every time something's thwarted or a life is saved. I have a young son who just is about to finish kindergarten. I have another one who will be starting school in a few years. And if their life gets saved through this program, obviously I'm going to have a lot of trust, and it's certainly going to build credibility. As it's already been mentioned, there's been some fights that were thwarted, and also students who are threatening to hurt themselves or others.
And at this point, we'll just open up for questions if anybody has anything.
I have one for Mr. Weeks. Rich had mentioned after the Parkland shooting, there was maybe somewhat, I guess desperate was the word you used, but from law enforcement. So what's the school environment been like since then? I mean, are people still kind of on edge since then?
About 2 weeks. For about 2 weeks it was that way. That it's certainly settled down. I think the quick reaction by Sheriff Johnson and the proactive approach has really put folks at ease.
Mr. Weeks, what's your first name again?
Jason?
Jason, okay. And your title again?
I'm representing the Santa Rosa County School District. My title is Director of High Schools.
Okay, great. Sergeant Aloy, you said this was rolled out 2 weeks ago, kind of like a soft rollout, or how did that process go?
Yeah, so we started the program simply by creating this video, and we played it on ITV, which is a morning program at all the schools. And but prior to that, let me back up a minute. We got together with all the school resource officers and thoroughly trained them on the system and how it works. And once that took place, we put all the videos on thumb drives, distributed them throughout the entire county to all the different schools. And in coordination with the school board, we were able to determine a date and time when we were going to start it. And we rolled it out. We've had a lot of positive interaction with the children. We've had children that already know the phone number, which is great, and they know the app. So yeah, it was kind of a soft rollout. And then we didn't want to do an immediate press conference because we wanted to get some numbers. Because I know the media loves numbers, so we wanted to get some good things for you. And I'm not going to say it's surprising, but the amount of tips we received made us all feel good, because it's showing the interaction with the children and and the trust, which is what Mr. Weeks said is very important to us. So yeah, it was a soft rollout, and now we're officially putting it out to all the parents and let everybody know what exactly we're doing to help our children.
And has this been done in any other school districts in Florida?
Not that I'm aware of. Now, the original one was over in Orlando, their crime line system, which is similar to Crime Stoppers, and we borrowed it from them. And we kind of took it and spun off it a little bit, but basically it's the same thing. And they've had it in place for many, many years. I'm going to say about 10 years. And then when we found we had this need, yeah, we were kind of desperate. I got a child in school, so I wanted to do whatever I had to do to get the job done. And we partnered with Crime Stoppers and the school board, and so far it's a win-win.
What role is Crime Stoppers playing in all of this?
So they provide the infrastructure. We're talking about the app, the phone number, the telephone number. They give us the ability to do this anonymously. It's a 40-year trusted program, and Crime Stoppers has helped us resolve many criminal cases through the years. And it was just a natural sequence of orders that took place. And when we needed this, they stepped up. They already had everything in place, so there was no cost to the county.
Yeah, I was hoping that you could elaborate on how the statements to harming themselves or others is handled when it relates to, like, maybe cases. I know in the national news we've seen cases of bullying,
Sure.
which have led to suicides. And so if, I know when it's something that is a potential crime that law enforcement steps in, what do you do when it's maybe a suicide threat?
Well, you know, we take those extremely serious. But the beauty of the program is when a tip comes in, it gets delivered immediately. There's no delay. So immediately it goes to law enforcement's hands. And just like any other situation involving someone who wants to hurt themselves or others, we immediately jump in. So it's not something that's sitting on a desk somewhere.
Now, do you partner up with school administrators and maybe the counselors for those threats?
Absolutely. And in one of these instances, the school resource officer went above and beyond and found, you know, a situation that had taken place or worked off of a tip that led to a very successful ending, and it was a partnership between the school board, outside agencies, so, you know, it was quickly taken care of and resolved, hopefully, and we won't have to.
And are you tracking these numbers, like the number of potential school shootings, the threats for suicide, and so you'll have those numbers for us?
We do track them. Now, understand all the tips they belong to Crime Stoppers.
Okay.
So, you know, based on the public record laws and what is and not allowed to be released, you know, I will be more than happy to provide additional information. I just can't get into the specifics.
Sure.
Because the important thing about that is we want to maintain the program and protect the anonymity of the kids. We'll never release a name. Even sometimes you can figure them out, you know, my neighbor or whatever. And some even give their names. And the responsibility for the Crime Stopper organization is to not give out that information because anonymity is the most important one.
Absolutely, and we would just want the numbers as far as how many potential suicides were stopped and,
Sure.
and stuff like that, so that's a really good tool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know of the like 25 tips, what platforms they came in on? Like as part of it, the kids want an app to
Sure,
be able to just
great
do that?
question. You know, a majority of them, a high percentage, I'm talking 75 plus, came through the app. There are some that came through the phone numbers, but most of them are the app. You know, the kids love these apps, and the beauty of this app is if there is a situation, they can upload videos, they can upload pictures, and as soon as they hit send, it goes right to the SRO, it goes to me, it goes to the entire system. So, you know, the example that we've given earlier to the school board when we brought this to their attention is if there's a fight on the bus, you know, and the kid happens to get that on video, by the time he hits send, it's already to school resource officer, so instantaneous delivery. And of course, you know, you do have technical issues, Wi-Fi and all that other stuff, but it's very successful, and we have backups to it. So it's not like just because he's not on Wi-Fi or anything, whatever, that he won't get the tip. So we do have backups to those, and visibility from a safety standpoint.
In which grades are you making this?
All the schools.
Okay, so kindergarten through 12, or?
Every public school in San Jose.
Okay.
Do all the schools have SROs?
Not right now, we're working towards that. I'm sure the sheriff could probably talk a little bit more to that. Sheriff?
Yeah, we've got, currently, we started out with 5 when I got elected, the high schools were covered. And I made a promise that I was gonna get 2 per year, and at the end of my first term, all the middle schools would be covered. So then Parkland happened, and the governor's mandate occurred, so then after that, what I did was I started expediting that. And currently, we're up to 10 resource officers. I wanted 7 at the end of my first year, and we're at 10. And we keep hiring people, usually retired deputies that want to come back. We put them in the middle schools, and we're trying to cover as many schools as we can the first couple of years. And hopefully by the end or the middle of the 3rd school year of my term, we should have everything covered. Hopefully.
Well, you just said that, you know, when someone submits a tip, it goes to the SRO, so if it's a school that doesn't have one, does it go to like admin or like a different school?
Well, what we do now is we have SROs, let's say the SRO at Holly Navarre Middle School. He has 3 schools really close to where he's at, so he covers those schools as well. So if it comes from one of those, he'll take it. If it's near Woodlawn Beach, that resource officer will take it, and you know, they monitor the schools that are near the main school they're at, just to cover. So.
You said this is in all grade levels. For the kids who don't, in the younger grades, who may not have a phone or the app, if they're in the school, how could they get to it instantaneously if they're in the classroom?
Well, that's a great question, and this is a brand new program to us, and you know, we've had a couple little bumps that we've worked through, and we're working very closely with the school boards to make sure that situations like that do not occur. And as we find these little bumps, we're going to go ahead and address them. And, you know, right now we're offering the telephone number, we're offering the app. We're going to get it rolled out on all the computers at the schools. So it's something that, and also the website. So I get, you know, that there may be some things that are a little out of the ordinary, but as we're moving forward, we're learning things every day. And as we're moving forward, we're just looking to see how we can tweak that.
And as a former resource officer, I can tell you, and a former DARE instructor as well, the kids at that lower levels, the kindergarten through probably 3rd grade, they have an implicit trust with their teachers. So they don't mind coming up and saying, little Billy said this or whatever, they don't mind that. You get to the middle schools and the high schools, it's a whole different animal. And all those kids have phones. I mean, everybody has phones. So this is a good tool that allows them to contact the, you know, anybody that they need to and be totally anonymous. So that's really what it's geared toward, is the, I'd say 6th through 12th.
12th grade.
Probably that's where it's going to get the most use.
Every school has a website, and the Speak Out icon is on all the school websites. You can access that through the district webpage and go to schools, and you'll see that they have that icon. So that's how a student who didn't have access, they could get access to a computer, which there's labs or computers in most of the rooms. They could access it that way.
Okay.
Good question.
Yes. What would you say to a student who thinks they saw something, but they aren't sure if it rises to the level of a teacher should know, or how should a student respond to that?
Well, if they don't know, that is exactly why the program is here. If the student doesn't know who to contact, here it is. You know, it's open for you. Make the call, use the app, whatever you need to do. Because the most important part about this is exactly what the program is called: speak out. You know, if you know something's happening, do the right thing. It's your school, it's your environment. You know, we all live here together. Speak out. Here's your opportunity, and use the program. That's what it's here for. Great question. Anything else? Guys, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And that's it. Thanks.